My name is Craig Allen. I am the president of the U.S. China Business Council. And in summary, I would say that the balloon's transit over the United States was transitory, but the impacts might be very long lasting. The balloon incident has led to a further deterioration of trust between the two sides, and it's uncertain what it will take to recover from that. I was very pleased that the Chinese side regretted the incident and noted that it was an incursion and a violation of U.S. airspace and thus a violation of U.S. sovereignty. And there might lie the wording or the foundation to get out of this incident, a form of an apology, an assurance that it won't happen again, I think is a minimum that the U.S. government will require. That said, this incident and the overall breakdown of trust is really profoundly deep and important. And so I am hopeful that as we enter 2023, we can help to stabilize the relationship and put the foundations of the relationship on more predictable, stable foundation. That will not be easy. And indeed, in a year, we are preparing in the early stages of a U.S. election, I think is going to be more difficult than previous years. But we're hopeful that the two presidents both want a good APEC meeting in San Francisco, and therefore that there's a political will on both sides to stabilize the relationship, to bring down the temperature, and to recognize that both governments have responsibility towards the global commons and that they should be working together on issues such as climate change, public health, anti-narcotics, peace and stability in Northeast Asia, working on, for example, North Korea, and putting guardrails around the areas really sensitive, strategic importance, including Taiwan. Well, I think that the nexus between competition and cooperation and conflict is a very important one. And we accept that this is incredibly complex, dynamic, multifaceted relationship where cooperation, competition, and conflict are all apparent every day. And naturally, we wish to maximize the areas for cooperation and minimize possibility of a crisis leading to conflict. I think that the balloon incident is really a stark reminder that due to, at least due to in part to COVID, there has been a lack of military to military and government to government dialogue between the two countries. And the balloon incident and kind of the panic that it created has really underlines the fact that we're not well prepared for crisis management and conflict avoidance. And in my view, that's the most urgent imperative of the relationship right now, to encourage our military to talk to the Chinese military, to encourage our national security leaders to talk to each other. The United States and China both have the largest militaries in the world, and they're not talking with each other, and that is not natural, nor is it healthy for such a dynamic relationship. So conflict avoidance should be a top priority of both leaders, and more practical actions need to be put into place to encourage the men and women in uniform in both governments to visit with each other, to talk with each other, to talk about the rules of the road in the air and in the sea, and indeed under the sea, so that we avoid mistakes, miscalculations, and accidents. At this stage, in my humble opinion, that is the most important requirement to stabilize the U.S.-China relationship over the short, medium, and longer term.